Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video we're kicking off a 2-week series looking at some of the best decks on the China server as a celebration for the 2-week holiday of Lunar New Year. You'll notice here that I have taken the deck archetypes in Chinese, converted them back into English, so we have some pretty interesting named decks to have a look at. Starting off, we have Odd Blind Demon Hunter. This is typical of the other Odd Demon Hunters we see, but one card I typically don't see in Odd Demon Hunter anymore is the Eldrazi Warblades, but otherwise, there's nothing too fancy about this list. Moving on to Druid, we have Joker D. Joker here stands for Clown, so this is a Clown Druid list. This is something that was mentioned as an off-meta deck on one of the Chinese meta reports, and basically what you want to do is you want to corrupt your Carnival Clown, you want to play it, spam your board full of 4/4s, and then you can bring them back with your Charge the Defiler and just make your opponent's life difficult. Survival of the Fittest will also make those clowns 8/8s. So really fun little deck that you might want to try out if you haven't tried it before. Technology Morality, otherwise known as Malygos Druid. This list is again pretty stock. There are nature studies in here, which you don't always see, but otherwise it's Malygos Druid. It's a good deck, and it's got a bit of a technical piloting to it, but otherwise you'll have a lot of fun. The Fast Breaking, aka Aggro Druid. So this is, again, pretty normal Aggro Druid. There's a single Crab Rider in here. I really like the Arbor Up. I was kind of reluctant when I first saw it in the list because I think, ugh, 5-drop in Aggro Druid. But I found it to be incredibly strong, and it's worth a try just to experiment with it. Moving to Hunter. Hunter is not a class we talk about much in this channel, but we have Even Hunting. This is an Even Reno Hunter. It has a secret passage. It's a pretty sensible list. I like the Maiev that helps you deal with the Big Priest. It's got the Dino Tamer Brant in here, which I unfortunately don't own right now. There's the Negran Slam, Call of the Wild, because there's a Zul'jin in here. So if you want to play some Hunter, have a bit of fun, this would be a good deck to give a spin. Looking at Paladin, we start with Joker riding in. So again, Joker meaning this is a clown deck. These seem to be popular on the China server. I didn't see them much myself on the other servers. But this is a prismatic lens build that tries to cheat out the Carnival Clown as early as possible, and then essentially just smack your opponent down. Also, for some reason, I don't own Forbidden Healing, which is bizarre, but I'll just give those a craft. Next up, we have Odd Numbered Riders, also known as Odd Paladin. There is nothing particularly fancy about this list. One thing I find weird, though, is that there is no Oh My Yogg. There is just the Competitive Spirit and the Never Surrenders. But otherwise, it's a pretty ordinary Odd Paladin list. Moving on to Mage, we have Cosmic Mystery. What is the mystery? Well, it is a Reno secret mage. I actually played this deck for a couple games, and it was incredible. The Devolving Missiles is great against Big Priest and, Reno or Q-blocks. It's basically secret mage, but with the Highlander cards sprinkled in. And I found it a lot more fun to play than regular secret mage because you actually have to think. I said it. Task method. What is your task? Well, your task is to play 8 spells to get Time Warp. So this is Quest Mage. It's a stock list. In fact, it looks like Cream Puff's list, but otherwise it's Quest Mage. It's a lot of fun, and it's a good one to play. Mystery, or what could mystery be? Well, there are these mysteries in Hearthstone. For Mage, they cost 3 mana. But of course, with this version of Mage, you don't want to pay mana for your spells, so that's why you've got Kirin Tor Mage, Cabal Lackey. You also want to draw cards for free, so that's why you've got your Rigged Fair Game. And of course, once you have those secrets out, you can do some pretty cool things like clear the board, aim things at your opponent's face, or just get 8/8's worth of stats for 4 mana. For some reason, they run Spellbender on the China server. I really don't know why. We tried to figure it out on Twitch chat. No one knew. Let me know in the comments why you'd think it would be in there. But otherwise, if you want to play Mystery Mage, this is the way to do it. Cosmic Animal Husbandry, also known as Reno Priest. Now, this is probably the most interesting of the lists. The Reno Priest that you might be used to if you play on Americas, Asia, or Europe is the OTK Spawn of Shadows. They don't play that version very much on China. They go for more of a thief approach. So that's why you're seeing things like Chameleos. You're seeing the Madame Lazul. You're seeing Thoughtsteal in here. You also notice there's no Porkelt, so this list isn't all in on getting the combo. It's just all about more of a grindy sort of game, using your opponent's resources against them. There's also a Soul Mirror in here, which I would imagine would be pretty sick against a big priest. So this is definitely a list to give a try. You might find the RNG to be pretty hilarious, and you might even find it a little bit more fun than the Spawn of Shadows Reno Priest that you often see. Next up, we have Resurrection Priest. Well, what would you be resurrecting? Well, of course, your big minions. So this is just, your everyday big priest. You will notice there's a Ziliax in here. This is a nice anti-aggro tech, but otherwise, it's big priest. If you like to cheat out your minions, this is the way you do it. Next up, we have Odd Thief. That thief being rogue. So this is a pretty well-made deck for the current meta. You'll notice that it has the Glacial Shards and the Frozen Shadow Weavers in here. That's to help you against Kingsbane Rogue and Darkglow Warlocks. This specific list, though, is a little greedier on the top end. It's got the Dr. Krastenov, it's got the Jandis Barov, which not everyone runs. In fact, a lot of players are cutting down on the 5-drops. But otherwise, Odd Rogue is incredibly strong right now, and this is a very good way to go around building it. The Thief, also known as Mill Rogue. So Mill Rogue is huge on the China server. I'll be honest, I haven't tested this list myself. It's on my to-do list. But if you want to play some Mill Rogue, it is not a meme. It's a very strong deck. Tier 3, maybe Tier 2. It's a little tricky to play, though. There are some very fine lines where if you mess up, you've just ruined the game. But if you want to play some Mill Rogue is back. Moving on to Warlock, we have Magic Block Technique. What are these magic blocks that we're using? Well, they're Carnivorous Cube. So this is a cube block list. And at first glance, it looks pretty normal. But then you see there's Zephyrus in there, which is a little dodgy because you're running duplicates, but cube block cycles pretty fast thanks to the hero power, sense demons, things like that. But otherwise, this is just a nice build to play around with, and I gave it a couple of spins and it was pretty good. Next up, we have the Universe Patience, a fan favorite, also known as Reno Lock. So this build of Reno Lock is running the Sir Finley Murgleton Grizzled Wizard combo to help you against Reno Priest and Baku decks. Otherwise, it's pretty sensible. It is teched accordingly, so you'll notice that there's a Cobalt Sticky Finger in here for the Kingsbane Rogues. There's a Lower Third to sometimes have a bit of a chance against mages. There's a Ticketus in here, which is pretty bad if you get it pulled off the Void Caller, but sometimes a little bit of greed is okay. Otherwise, pretty fun list, little pricey. You can see there's a ton of legendaries in here, so it's not for everyone, but you can always sub out cards if you don't own them, and that's the beauty of Reno decks. Finishing up here, we've got Warrior, looking at Pirate Warfare, also known as Pirate Warrior. I've played a lot of Pirate Warrior recently, and one thing that I didn't consider bringing back was a Kokron Elite, just as an extra charge. I've been running Sky Captain Crag myself, and that might be better, just to have that guaranteed 4 mana, 4 damage to get that extra face bash in. Also, you can combine it with Nitro Boost Poison, so it's a nice little card to consider bringing back into your Pirate Warrior list. And the last deck I want to feature is the Odd Number War. So the war you're looking at is generating a bunch of armor to make your opponent either give up or fall asleep. And as for the techs, there's a Dr. Boom, which I enjoy, just to have an alternative to just boring your opponent to death. You've got the Silas, Soulbound Ashtongue Shield Slam trio, which just ends the game a little faster if you don't want to play it out. One tech I find particularly interesting is the Mischief Maker. 3 mana 3/3 battle cry, swap the top card of your deck with your opponent's. So if your opponent, say, plays a Paul Celt, and you know it's going to be a Shadow Reaper Anduin against a Reno Priest or a Mizaki against a Mizaki Mage, you can just go ahead and swap them around, make your opponent's life miserable, and no one's ever going to play around Mischief Maker. Now, you will notice that there are some lists missing from this video because I only have 18 deck slots, though if you haven't heard, next expansion we're getting bumped up to 27 deck slots, which I'm very excited about. But if you want to try out any of these lists, you'll find the deck codes in the description below, as well as a link to the latest Chinese server meta report. If you'd like to support this channel, you can click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and until next time, hope to see you again.